Testosterone, we have a problem.
This is Outside the Manosphere, where two guys with zero credentials dive past the cliches of masculinity and try to become better friends by actually talking to each other. It's weirdly hard, but we're doing it anyway. Join us. Okay, now we can formally communicate with each other.
Woo! Good start.
I got nothing.
Welcome to Outside the Manosphere. I'm Skip.
And I'm Carlos.
How you doing today, Carlos? Have you manifested anything this week?
So this week I have not manifested anything. However, I would say about 2 weeks ago, I'm going to give you two quick examples of manifestations that are nothing burgers, but this is what people should expect when they manifest. So, maybe I even told you. I don't know. So whatever. So on one of the ambulances, so there's two crews at my station, and I got to be really careful what I say here because I don't want anyone to hear this and get pissed or lose my job because I'm talking about the ambulance. But it's
they all smell. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, they're horrible. No, but it's our job to sort of clean them out and then for the next crew and this and this.
Sure.
And so there was one crew that we were relieving and it was a little messy. And normally I don't care. I'm like, oh, whatever. I'll just run a quick broom over this. But it was a little extra, and I was annoyed by it. And I was just kind of griping. I'm like, well, on the other truck it's always clean. And that kind of just shitty attitude. But anyway, so for an unusual moment for myself, I was griping about it. And later that day, a guy got, this isn't super detailed, but anyway, this guy got bear maced. And so it's like a really strong, oily, mace.
Bear spray, yeah.
Yeah. And so he was in the back of the ambulance. I could barely be, I was driving, thank God, but I could barely be back there for a minute because I was just coughing. I couldn't do it. And anyway, so later that day, we had to just go out of commission and deep clean the ambulance. So anyway, that's the manifestation. I was bitching about how it's never clean, and we took the stretcher out, disassembled the stretcher, hosed it down. I was wiping the walls. It was as clean as you can get it out of the factory. So yeah, anyway, that was just one little manifestation.
So it doesn't sound like the most positive version of manifesting, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess so. And you could maybe chalk it up to having a bad attitude and griping at other people, and then suddenly, here you go, and now you got to clean it. And then the other one was another gripe. We were driving in town, and every winter here, the road markings are just wiped off because of the ice and the snow, and the ice and the snow, and then every springtime they usually repaint the roads and so you can see the lines and it's really bad here. It's always potholy and the lines are gone. Sure. And it's a couple of confusing areas. So it's you don't know when you're changing lanes. And so anyway, Jody and I were driving and we were both complaining about it. It's late summer now and they haven't done it and blah, 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 blah. And mid bitching, yeah. And then the next day, all the roads were painted and the lines were demarcated, even in hospital parking, everything was painted. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a little minor thing, but it was all just the next day it was done. Literally. I'm not even
huzzah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even exaggerating. It was done.
Well, that sounds like the good one. The other one sounded like the universe caught you smoking and was like, oh, you want it? You want this? You're going to smoke a whole pack. You want it clean? You're going to clean everything.
Teach you to complain. Be grateful for what you have, boy. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happened. But you know what? I didn't care because I was happy to clean that thing. Anyway, that was a very long explanation to how my week has been and your manifestation. Yeah. My week's been great. That's all done. How are you, Skip? How's your week been?
My week's been pretty bland, although you did make me think of, we went and got some Mexican food at Mexicali Mercado, which is one of the tastier Mexican places, but it's a little far afield, especially with the metro station for it is closed down. So we went out there and we were actually looking at my little son was asking me what's the hottest jalapeno, and we were trying to explain to him that jalapeno is just one kind of pepper, and there's other kind of peppers that are hotter. And he's like, yeah, but what's the hottest jalapeno? And we're like, I don't know, Bill.
I have an answer for him.
Okay.
Well, there are varieties of jalapeno as well, but
Yeah.
if you're ever in the store and you're buying a jalapeno and you see like striations on the flesh of it, you know what I'm talking about? How some of them are just like a solid green, and then some of them
Yeah,
have
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're almost like little like vertical scars going up the jalapeno.
Okay.
Anyway, you'll notice them now that I tell you. That is from like water stress or heat stress from when they were growing, and they're always way hotter than the other
Oh,
ones.
okay. Well, I won't notice that in the Czech Republic because
Well, if you ever see any like
yeah.
imported, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyways, we started I was like, okay, well, I don't know the answer. I didn't know that answer that you had. And we were looking up the Scoville heat index thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And like the hottest pepper right now is a Carolina Reaper, or I don't know if they're always inventing new ones.
Right, right.
But above that was pepper spray. So like when you were talking about how hot it was and you could barely walk through there, that was the first thing that I thought of is like it's like walking through aerosol Carolina Reaper.
Yeah,
Man, that must be like I knew pepper spray, okay, that hurts, but man, that must hurt
yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, this guy was not having a good time.
Yeah.
Like his skin was like affected too. You could see it was
Yeah, I bet.
you know how like these wrestlers have like those cauliflower ears?
Yep.
Well, the backs of his were being irritated enough so they were like swelling up like that. So he was having he had a bad few hours
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with that.
Yeah, and if anybody listening doesn't know what cauliflower ears are, it's like from wrestlers like grinding their heads into other guys' ears, and their ears swell up with scar tissue that never goes away. So it looks like literally like cauliflower.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to escape without that.
You
But
got to
yeah.
wear those earpieces though when you were in high school?
Yeah, you gotta wear it's almost like headphones, but
Yeah.
strapped around your chin, you know?
Yeah. And that's
Yeah, I had
that's strictly to avoid scar tissue in the ear, no? Or is that something
yeah.
else?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's to avoid your ears getting all swollen and permanently cauliflowered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm every time I see like a really bad ear, and I guess there's like a lot of wrestlers are proud of it, and there's like wrestling groupies, probably like all of four in the world, but they go for that. But in any case, every time I see it, I'm always happy that I went through the discomfort of wearing the
Yeah.
thing with those cutting on my throat while we were
Well,
wrestling.
though, I think because they haven't like I don't know if I'd say worse because I don't watch wrestling, but I've watched a ton of MMA, like like the cage fights and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And those guys, I mean, it's like almost like how can you hear anything because their ears are just
Right.
so chunky. And as like a badge of honor, I will say like not that I'm gonna ever get into a fight with anybody, but like if I ever saw somebody being unreasonable or being like a shithead and I saw cauliflower ears, I'd be like, well, maybe I'll sit this one out and just
Yeah.
let that guy tire himself out rather than me, be macho and beat my chest.
Yeah,
And
that's a real reasonable response because anybody that's gone head to heaven enough to have cauliflower ears is probably more experienced in that
Probably
world than
gonna win
you.
that one.
Yeah.
Probably gonna win. Yeah. Did I ever tell you? Did I ever tell you? And I might. Well, we'll see how I get this story out. But when I was living in San Francisco, I was at a New Year's Eve party, and there was this woman there, and she was very very drunk, and she was not hitting on me and my friend, but like I'll let you decide what was happening. She was talking to us, and like I said, she was like almost swaying on her feet, drunk, like she was really
Yeah.
drunk. And it was me and my friend standing like at her attention, and she was like, "Oh, I'm just a girl," and like literally like with that sort of baby voice, and like I don't know how to talk to two boys, and then, like she was acting really bashful. It was disingenuous. Like
Right.
it was clearly an
An
act,
act. Yeah.
but I think that she was so drunk that she was trying to be convincing. And she was about as tall as me. I'm about 5'10". She was about as tall as I was, maybe a little shorter. But just real like babyish and like really amping up the girliness of it all. So much so that I like looked her up. Like I didn't communicate with her after that. Like it was just like, okay. And then we weren't talking after that. But I found her on Facebook and I was looking at her profile because I was just like, what was her deal? She
Yeah.
was a mixed martial artist and her like boyfriend was a mixed martial artist. And I'm like, was she trying to bait somebody into like getting their asses stomped? Because I don't know what it was. I don't know what she was up to, but like she was up to something.
Yeah, I mean that is like a reasonable, I guess, assumption or hypothesis in that
Yeah, yeah,
situation,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And like some guys really are into that, and I'm super not into the infantilization. That's not for me, no.
No, no, me either. Me either. Yeah, no, but I was thinking more of like, oh, I wonder if I had taken the bait, would she have like kicked my ass later on or something like that? You know what I mean? If it had,
Well,
if
or she was waiting for her boyfriend to come and kick your
oh
ass
yeah,
because it was a thing that they like.
yeah, maybe,
That
but
would
no,
be my first thought,
oh, I
but
didn't
yeah.
think that at all. I mean, yes, that's super probable or possible anyway. But like, my thought was like, no, no, she was gonna kick my ass. Like, she would have been the one to like stomp me down, which I'm sure she's just perfectly capable of doing.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like there's more value as a foreplay beating for her boyfriend than for her to just like randomly walk up to a guy and kick the crap out of him.
I don't know, man. Some of those guys, some of those like the trained fighters, they look for stuff. Not all of them, obviously, but like some of those guys go out prowling for fights. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the impression I got from her. But what do I know? Maybe she was just waiting to get dominated, and then she takes the domination, and then it was just sexy time. I don't know, but
Who knows?
yeah, I think it was more of a I'm gonna get my ass stomped sort of situation. Either way, I got out of that situation, and I lived to tell the tale, and here I am.
Yeah. Seems like a wise thing. Anytime you get like weird vibes, like super weird vibes from somebody, especially if a girl's drunk, you should just walk away anyway, because like that's nothing's gonna come of that. That's okay.
Well, Skip, you ready to fall in love?
I sure am.
All right, we are on question 16 of this little Sally, and that is, what do you value most in a friendship?
Hmm. Hmm. It's hard to say like a most. I think there's like, ingredients to friendship.
Yeah.
I guess for me an important one though is like honesty and just kind of like so I remember when I was in college having a discussion with a friend about a mutual friend of ours, and I was not supporting what I thought was a bad decision. I was trying to like dissuade my friend from doing something foolish. And this other friend was saying, she was like, that's not being a good friend. You have to be supportive no matter what. And I was like, blew my mind. It
Yeah,
blew my
yeah.
mind. I was like, no, I feel like being unquestioning like support it's I mean, no doubt it feels nice, but like I want the best thing for my friend, and part of being able to be a friend is like being genuine and talking to people and telling them things that maybe they don't want to hear sometimes. Not just like being a dick all the time and being like, I hate this, I hate that, you're stupid. Um
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but like, like you're thinking about these two things or these options here, then have you considered this? And there's some benefits to this path and some detractors that maybe you didn't think about this path or whatever. But just kind of generally, like just honest. Like if I've got something in my teeth, tell me. You know, like don't sit there, don't look at me and watch me have like spinach in my teeth for 3 hours, and I'm going to like a job interview and you don't want
Yeah,
to say anything.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
I want somebody that's going to be honest and genuine with me. I guess that's my number one. What about you? What do you?
I'm gonna be very boring and say the exact same thing. Actually, my first thought when we brought this up was like, well, loyalty, because
Mhm.
I'm an extremely loyal person, and I'll do a lot for you if I call you a friend. But that also leads to like, I'm not so loyal that I'm gonna like you said, I'm gonna stand by somebody when they're making bad decisions. And
Yeah.
so yeah, overall, really, I mean, it's a stupid answer, I guess, or it's a boring answer. But honesty has got to be the same thing, because yeah, I mean, I want to be told when I'm fucking up, and
Yeah.
or at least I want opinions when I'm fucking up. You know what I mean? I might not listen to them, but at least like, hey, yeah, you did tell me that. I should have listened to you.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. And maybe next time I'll pay closer attention to what you have to say. And yeah, I think that requires somebody to be confident in themselves, though. You know what I mean? You can't just,
Hmm.
because some people are like, well, I might not say anything because they might not like me, or
Right.
what if they get mad or whatever. And then I guess you probably got to think of what kind of friend you are if
Yeah.
if they're afraid to tell you the truth. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons why I value honesty. It's like I want something that's going to be able to weather any trials or tribulations, which also gets back to the loyalty, because that was the when I was talking about multiple ingredients, like one of them was was loyalty. Like
Right.
I've had fair weather friends that are kind of like, yeah, I'm into you right now, and now I'm not, and
Yeah.
like just kind of like when I'm interested, and like I'm kind of like you. I'll go to bat for somebody. I'll lay myself down on the line. I'll really like if I care about them, I'm always going to be there for them. I might not always be great at calling. Um
Yeah. Well, I'm the same way. Yeah.
but like if somebody called me up and they needed something, I'd be on it. And that's kind of important to me too. Like I'm not likely to call somebody and ask for help, but I would like that if I did, they would be there.
Yeah. Do you ever? I mean, I don't know what your friend bank is really, but like, occasionally I'll have like a heart to heart, or I'll send like. When I say occasionally, I mean like
Mhm.
once a decade sort of thing. But I'll
Yeah.
like reach out to somebody and be like, hey man, like I'm here, and like if you ever need any that sort of thing. Just because
Yeah.
I don't know, no one ever does that shit for me, and like I'd like to know, even though
Right.
I kind of do. Like I know like, oh, this person's there. If I ever need them, they're there. But like it's nice to hear it every now and then, and
Sure.
just and to sort of check in and remind them that like you have family here,
Yeah.
and no matter where you are in life. I think it's important for like a real friendship.
Yeah. And you just do that out of the blue,
Yeah, just randomly,
just randomly,
just send
like
love letters. No,
yeah.
like a friend of mine that I reconnected with after. I mean, I grew up with him, but we hadn't spoken in a while. And as a sort of not even that we had a falling out or anything, but just as a sort of like, hey man, what happened? Like, what? Why aren't we
Right.
talking? Sort of thing. And like that's what I mean. Like, let's reconnect. And like, you're somebody that's important to me. And like, I like expressing that
Yeah.
kind of thing to people who might not hear it all the time, and or at least hear it all the time from me, and just remind them like this. Like, even though we've kind of grown apart, or
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah. Yeah.
talking the
Yeah.
way we used to, like you're still important to me. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think it's a healthy way to be, and I think it's a good display of friendship, and it's a good. And then how they respond can validate. Like, well, yeah, this is always what I've always thought it was, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're friends, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I every once in a while I'll do something like that. And, usually people kind of have that response of like, thanks, I appreciate that, and whatever.
Hmm.
Every once in a while though, like I will write out to somebody and like I won't hear from 'em, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I guess I did something.
Yeah,
Like that's kind of where my mind goes all the time is like, I don't know how I pissed you off.
yeah,
I'm sorry, whatever I did or whatever. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I think people just are done. And then like with things like Messenger or whatever, you could a lot of times like you'll look at something and then leave it and then it just goes away in your
yeah,
mind and you don't respond for a long time and
yeah.
yeah.
I
So
had a
who knows?
I had a friend, another little synchronicity that my mother brought up. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I haven't talked to her in a long time. And then she like wrote me that day. It was like within the hour she wrote me, and I checked the last message we had talked to each other about was 6 years before,
Hmm.
and it was it was my last message saying, hey, I'll get back to you like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that was 6 years ago. And so I was like, well, I see that I kind of dropped the ball in this one. So,
Right.
so
Yeah.
yeah, we had a little exchange back and forth, catching up. But yeah, that's I'm the same way. It had been a very long time.
Yeah.
And but hey, better late than never.
That's right. Sometimes you might end up doing a podcast.
Uh, yeah, you guys were. Sorry if you hear my dogs barking.
Sorry.
Jody's on vacation now, and she's not there to shift them as she oftentimes does. But yeah, you guys were better friends than us, in that like you. I remember during COVID, you set up that like FaceTime, and then you guys sent us a Christmas present. I think the first year we were gone,
Yeah.
and I don't know that we reciprocated any of that. I thought about it a lot, and I know Jody did too. But yeah, that was a a hard transition for us to come in here. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I'm trying to be better at stuff like that, and I'm really happy that we're meeting once a week, dude. That's like
Yeah.
it's been a really good. It's been really good for me.
I'm really happy too, and it's been good for me. Yeah, I don't feel like you guys were any less friends. Like you'd always come over to our place because we've got the kid, and you watched our child when our other child was born. So like, I don't know. I feel like you guys were pretty good.
Yeah, and really, I felt the same. It was just kind of like still like not really reciprocating some of these sort of gestures was still. You think
Yeah.
about them is all, you know.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there was just like I think, I don't know if we were so much like planning. I think we just found a game we thought you guys would enjoy, and we were like, "Eh, we should send this to them." Just kind of like,
We played it a lot too, by the way, and
oh yeah,
right now it's next door because our niece and nephew are playing it. I don't know how often they play it, but they really liked it as well. So we lent it to
yeah,
them, and they've had it for months actually. But
yeah.
yeah, because it's a super easy game to learn, and it was
Right.
just it was fun and cooperative. Like we don't have a lot of cooperative games. We're usually like killing each other in the games. I have a picture of Jody when she like beat the living shit out of me at Monopoly, and it's a picture of her winning. Like the game was over and she just won, and
Yeah.
she's like pulling all the money towards her, and like the look of greed in her eyes, and the little smile on her face is like, wow, that's capitalism right there. She says she has
That's
won.
that's classic Monopoly. You know where
Yeah.
Monopoly came from, right?
Mm-mm.
It was
No.
originally, I think it was called the Landlord game, and it was originally like an economics professor, and I'm probably totally making this up, but this is what I believe. It was an economics professor or something like that who had created it for his class to show them how terrible unrestrained capitalism was, and like, and it is kind of like the mother of all table flipping games. So yeah, he had like controlled it to just make it to kind of be like, yeah, some people start off a little lucky and then you're fucked, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
There's no way digging your way out, and people were like, I love this, I
Yeah.
love being fucked. um, and you know what, I love being greedy and fucking other people. And that's how we have capitalism.
when when I'm winning at Monopoly, I'm like cutthroat predator. Like I'm taking all of your shit. I'm tossing
Yeah.
you out in the streets, and you are gonna have nothing, and I'm gonna have all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a fine line because yeah, who knows if I were a billionaire, I'd be like mine. This is my
Yeah.
stuff. I worked hard for this for my billions.
Goodbye, Comrade Carlos.
Yeah, I know what I said before, but guys, I see things from a different perspective now.
And that perspective is on Mars.
Yeah. And that perspective is from an ivory tower.
Yeah. Something about being a billionaire makes everybody want to go to. I think it's because they see how messed up the planet is,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, man, I could spend my billions of dollars fixing this planet, but you know what would be way easier? Just going to Mars. It'd be way easier to go to Mars than to fix things.
Honestly, I think it's like not a popularity contest. It's like a capitalist space race, and I think that
Yeah.
it's an ego thing. With Elon Musk, I will say he's been talking about Mars for a while, but I feel like he popularized it among the billionaires, and now they're like, we want to go to Mars.
Yeah.
I want my company to be the first company that goes to Mars.
Well, he wants to go somewhere where eugenics experiments are allowed. That's
Oh yeah, he gets to handpick. He gets to handpick who's going. All right, Skip. Well, you've got a couple things here, and I think it's just going to be a mashup of current events. But I want to ask you, because I've never heard of this, what is algo speak?
algo speak is like algorithm speak. I was listening to another podcast talking about how algorithms and things are affecting the way we speak, and because basically algorithms want you to keep your eyes, they want to keep you looking at things.
Mhm.
And a lot of the vernacular comes from even things that you don't think of. A lot of these things come from like the incel community, and they have like their whole own language, and then sometimes they push it out via like social posts, sometimes they kind of like embed it into memes. And because we haven't got the social structures that we used to have,
Mhm.
like there used to be like kid speak and adult speak and this group speak and that group speak, but everything's kind of decontextualized. So like if you think something's funny, you start using it, and it's it's like a way that things get out into the social sphere and the communications. But because they want to prioritize people looking at stuff, the algorithms only push extremist shit because that's what gets you. Nobody wants to look at khaki. Everybody wants to look at bright red and bright blue. And that's actually kind of like part of where this whole Sydney Sweeney thing came from,
Hmm.
because there weren't actually that many people that were upset about it. It was just like a few people, but the GOP, or group of pedophiles, wanted everybody to stop looking at the Epstein files. So they
Yeah.
were like, the right or the left is all crazy about this, even though like no Democrats had said anything about it,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
all the stuff. So they manufacture this big culture war issue, specifically because it's going to detract from, the president being a pedophile,
Right.
and and like them protecting him and things like that. And it blows it up and makes it look to the right like the left is all crazy. And then the left looks at how the right actually does double down on, like, not even talking about American Eagle genes or Sydney Sweeney or anything like this, but like how a bunch of people on the fringe right came out and said, well, the problem with that the left had was that they thought that this was what is it, eugenics,
Right.
or
Right. Yeah.
Aryan Nazi beauty standards or whatever, I
Something like
can't
that. Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But in any case, like there were like very few people on the left that gave a shit about this commercial at all. But then the right came out, and then the far right started actually espousing white supremacist beauty standards and agreeing with it and putting out their own content. So like in
It's like the snake eating its tail or something.
yeah, exactly. But the people on that side are happier to have you talking about that than the
Right.
president being on the Epstein files,
Right. Right.
or whatever.
Which is really what this is all about. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
it's funny though that how like you have both sides of the extreme, the far right and the far left, and they're really the only ones doing the fighting. Because I saw this Sydney Sweeney thing and I was like, yeah, she's a good looking woman. Like I get the whole play on words. She's a good looking woman. If you had a good looking black woman or a good looking black man saying he's got good genes, she's got good genes, I'd be like, yeah, that they
Yeah.
do have, they're symmetrical. They have
Right.
good genes. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do understand why it's like why like a flag might come up with as far as like eugenics goes, but like
Right.
I feel like if that was actually born on the left, it was born the complaint about it, it was born on the far left,
Well, that's
and
that's what the
yeah,
case was. Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's born on the far left, and then it activated the far right, or vice versa. It was born on the far right to activate the far left, whatever. But
Yeah.
like, it's these two distant groups that are fighting, and they
Right.
just they make the most noise,
Right.
and that's exactly what somebody who doesn't want to be in the news would be hoping for.
Well, and that's what the whole algorithms are all about. They're going to push this, even if like it starts off and there's like 10 people in the world that give a shit about this jeans commercial,
Mhm.
because really, honestly, who cares? And if you looked at this commercial, like for the most part, it's a pretty banal commercial. It's
Hmm.
it's like
Oh, I didn't
uh
even know it was a commercial. I thought it was just like a
or yeah, I think it's
stills.
a commercial. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's like, okay, it's a busty lady in jeans. We've seen this, I don't know, 7 million times in our lives,
Yeah.
and and like they came up with the most obvious pun that they could. Like, there's nothing creative or interesting in any way about this commercial. There's nothing that should like flag anybody as this is being different from what's happened a billion times. But like the algorithm, there's a couple people upset about it, and it lights up that fire, because that's what gets clicks. That's what gets people to look at it. And like it ended up, because of that, there are some like simmering undercurrents that like it exposes. There are these white supremacist things on the right, and there are like arguments against, how we advertise responsibly and stuff on the left and whatever. But like none of that was intrinsic in this until we like put it all on top of this thing.
Yeah, until we drilled down on it. I didn't even know what the whole thing was about until I kept seeing this. I think I sent it to you actually. This guy that I follow on Facebook, he does AI. Well, he publishes a bunch of AI stuff,
Mhm.
and he kept posting these photos of like celebrities or just different people in like that pose where the Sydney Sweeney's laying on her side and like
Yeah.
repose with like the jeans. and like one of them was like Brundle Fly has good genes, and it shows like what's his name, Jeff Goldblum as
Jeff
like
Goldblum, yeah.
yeah, transforming into Brundle Fly from the movie The Fly. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Okay, this is clearly something. This I didn't know what it was, but it just kept
Yeah.
popping up. I'm like, all right, people are memeing this now. So yeah, like it wasn't even on my radar until pop culture made it relevant. I guess. I mean, we're talking
Right.
about it right now.
Right. And then the thing that I think is kind of most weird about this is then people start going after, like, directly after, like, how Sydney Sweeney looks with or without me. I don't even care. Like, I don't care. I really don't. I don't care about these genes. I don't care actress. I really am not interested. And like the backlash for the company, or like the position it puts the company in, is weird because they get a lot of free PR.
Oh, they're very happy about this whole situation.
They're very happy about the PR,
Mm-hmm.
and their shares have gone up because I was reading about it a little bit today, or at least the article from like a week ago. But like their sales aren't increasing. The people going to their stores aren't increasing, and like the public opinion on them has shifted drastically negative, even though they're getting a lot of PR. None of those are things that you want. And because of the political situation, they're put into a corner that I kind of understand. I'm not usually on the side of corporations, but like they can't really apologize because then President Trump will come after him, and they can't really be like, we're super proud of this and blah blah blah. So they have to give some middle of the road statement that everybody on the left hates.
But they didn't
Uh,
though. I feel like they not only were they unapologetic, not that they needed to
yeah,
apologize. I don't give a shit about the situation either.
right.
Like I don't think there's really anything to apologize for. I thought it was, as you said, like a lazy pun. And I didn't see anything racist about it, but they didn't apologize, and then they doubled down on it. I don't remember if I was reading it was either in the New York Times or like I don't know where I read or listened to where they doubled down on it, and it was this whole like unpacking of like how corporations have tried the whole like quote unquote woke line and decided, well, no, now we're on the right, so we're going to go this direction, and how they're.
I hadn't heard that they said that. I heard that that's what other people were saying about it, but I may not have gotten there.
I could be wrong. Also, I didn't pay a tremendous amount of attention to it, but yeah, it was my understanding that they were like, no, this is fine, and then they were doubling down on their campaigns with it.
So the statement to them was that American Eagle is and always was about, or that the commercial is and always was about her genes, and these are like blue jeans. Her story will continue to celebrate how everyone wears their jeans with confidence their way. Great jeans look good on everyone. And that was their thing. And
Yeah.
I think there have been a lot of people that have come out and said, well, anti-woke hasn't worked because I'm sorry, woke hasn't worked because I mean, we saw what happened to Budweiser. Like
They went pretty. I mean, they shockingly went and left. I was surprised by that whole thing, but considering like their demographic are just like rednecks.
right. And we should catch people up for this is old, but like is it Dylan Mulvaney? Is that the guy's name?
I can't remember.
Dylan Mulvaney is a trans influencer.
Oh,
That's
right.
what I know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So Dylan Mulvaney is a trans influencer. They did something for Bud Light, and then people absolutely lost their shit. And Kid Rock was shooting Bud Light cans, and like people were hating it, and their sales took a dive, and everybody started buying Modelo, which is the same company, so they didn't do anything. But in any case, like trying to be woke hasn't worked out for corporations when they get in the crosshairs. And I think that a lot of people would agree that you should just do what's right anyway, but that's not how corporations work. We know that.
Right.
Uh,
And going back to the American Eagle, I guess they didn't necessarily double down. They didn't apologize,
right.
and it sounded confrontational
Sure.
over an apology, I guess. And I guess maybe
Yeah.
that's how I interpreted they're not necessarily going to the right. They're just not apologizing anymore. And I don't think that that's necessarily a positive thing. Like, again, I don't think they had anything to apologize for, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know how
Yeah.
I would have worded that statement either.
That's what I'm saying. As I think that probably like this should have just stopped in the creative room. Like maybe this isn't a great idea. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I can see how it would get out and people would be like, this is fine. Who cares? But then like in the political situation that we're in with when the right gets really rabid about something, like they we're in a position where they couldn't really apologize.
Hmm.
I mean, like they totally could apologize, but like for corporate reasons, it wouldn't. In corporate speak, it wouldn't be responsible. Socially, maybe it is. Um, but like they also, they can't like jump on and be like, yeah, we meant that she's the beauty
Sure.
standard and fuck everybody that doesn't look like her. Like, they're put in this stupid position by the stupid algorithms and like the farthest reaches of both ends of the political spectrum.
Well, and the other thing that it just occurred to me right now is that if this ad had been released, I don't know, 6 years ago,
Hmm.
it might have been right away. Like, oh my god, like I can't believe you published that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
it just hadn't occurred to me till just now. Like, I wonder if all this racism and like hatred and just general shittiness has become so normalized, like for me, that
Right.
I'm like, yeah, no, it's not a racist ad. He's just talking about she's got good genes. Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, and that's my response because it's not like rounding up brown people outside of Home Depot. It's not as bad as that. You know what I mean? And like, oh, at least it's not that. So, you know what I mean? I don't know if I would have responded the same way a few years back.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like for me, if I was in the creative room, the thing that would be the obvious thing to do is you release this as a campaign with not just this person, but an array of people.
Yeah,
And then that's like, that works.
yeah.
And that gets around it and blah, blah, blah. And maybe they were planning. I have no idea what they were planning. But
Well, and that's a good point though, Skip, because I don't see it as an offensive ad. However, if I were a part of that creative group creating it, I 100% would have caught that. I would have been like, well,
right.
what's this going to look like? I think we should probably mix it up a little bit. So yeah, when you look at it through that lens, like, was that intentional? Because, or how stupid was the person doing that? Because I mean, I guess I don't see it as an intentional thing, but like
Right.
if you're way up there doing an ad campaign that goes national and global, I mean, are you not aware? Are you really? You don't know what world and country you've been living in for X amount of years?
Yeah. And like, I guess it'd be also another thing if they were like, well, this is the first ad in a series, we also were doing this. And maybe that's the case. I don't know. Cause like I said, I haven't looked into this deeply. It just is all very silly. And it's particularly silly because like we're spending time on this, not that we're like important news media, but like this is a jeans ad. And like you said, people are getting rounded up and arrested.
Hmm.
And there is like martial law going on in DC right now. And like things that are like pretty deep into the authoritarian dictator playbook are happening, and we're all focused on a jeans ad, which is exactly what was intended.
Yeah, yeah. And by the time this comes out, I mean, it'd probably be a few weeks from now, or from the time of this whole like scandal, or you know what, not even scandal, the time of martial law in Washington D.C., which is what this is. This is martial law. It's like it's just not. I guess a bill. I don't know how martial law would be enacted officially, but like the military taking over a city, taking over the police force is martial law. I mean, they're maybe not applying curfews yet, but in the time that it takes for us to release this podcast, yeah, I mean, what's going to happen? I don't know. I mean, he's already talked about how I can do this in other cities as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And legally, for reasons, he can do this in DC for like 30 days. There's actually like, because DC is this funky, weird thing, there is that precedent. But like, he sent people to LA. Like, I'm sure that if he wants to, he's gonna do it, and they'll just let the courts fight out. And the courts are basically, not all of them, but a lot of levels of the court and a lot of people that study the courts and the judiciary system are screaming that they're not paying attention to the judiciary system. And that's a big problem. Like, that's the fundamental three-legged stool of the government breaking down. They're supposed to be this check and balance situation because we don't want an autocrat. I mean, I guess a lot of people do, but
Apparently so. Apparently so, man. I don't think they understand what that entails, though, and where that can lead. And yeah, I mean, clearly they don't, because I don't know. I mean, I've said this 1,000 times. I'm very happy not to be living in the United States. I wish that my family wasn't there. I mean, I think overall, like, I'm just hopeful and optimistic that overall it's going to be fine. But like, feel like it's going to get much darker before that happens. And I don't know. At least I'm in Canada.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm happy to not be there right now as well. But like, yeah, I look at the horizon and it's like things like putting a curfew in DC seems like a very logical next step, very foreseeable. Doing this in other cities, continuing on with that seems like I don't know why that wouldn't happen. And like, I don't see the roadblocks to stop this. Like, people are just, there's the meme that goes on, or you see online, like, if you ever wondered how the people of Germany let this happen in, 1936, then now like, whatever you're doing now is what you would have done then. And it's like, on the one hand, like, yeah, that resonates. But on the other hand, like, people are trying to like pay their bills and get food on their table, and it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, like, what is somebody that's a single, or not even a single dad, but a dad or a mom in a family that's like, they're both working full time, trying to make rent, trying to get groceries on their table, trying to like run their kids around to have them have a good life and like have some semblance of normality and go to soccer or whatever. And like, in their off time, what are they supposed to storm the Capitol? Like, that's that's what the other side did. We didn't like that.
Well, and what you're describing was like a working family that is like just going right down the line, taking care of their family, paying their bills. There are a
Yeah.
lot of people that are single, no kids, equally working hard to pay their
Right.
bills, that have absolutely no idea what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't know that DC's been occupied now by the troops, by the American troops, or is being occupied right now. They have no idea half the shit we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the Sydney Sweeney, they for sure know, but like, but the political stuff's not breaking through to them, and
Right.
or it is, but they scroll past it because they're not interested in it. And I get it, like, politics is boring, but like, this is a really fucking big deal. What's happening is
Right.
a massive change in the entire face of the United States, and it might not affect them now, but it's gonna, or
Well,
it potentially will.
and to get back to your point about like, I mean, this is if they're not interested in it, the algorithm is interested in getting them to pay attention to things.
Right.
So it's going to serve them up what they want, and it's going to ignore these things because Facebook and all those other companies, they don't give a shit about responsibility or social responsibility or the social contract or anything like that. They're just like, I'm getting paid by Walmart to have your eyes on me so that I can collect your data and advertise to you. They don't give a shit. So, like, keeping people's eyes, and, there's good chunks of the population that are very happy. Like, the entire, GOP strategist wing, they don't want you paying attention to anything.
And that really, I think that's the crux of it all. If you can get things like Facebook to just tweak how they operate,
Yeah.
all this stuff, it might take some years, but because it took some years to get where we're at now, all this stuff will go away, I think, if you can just change the popular opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's where my armchair sort of response to it all is that's where the solution is in social media, if it sticks around at all. But like, those guys can change everything.
Oh yeah, they sure can. But they don't care to, because it's not in their best interest at all. Like,
It's not their interest, and it's not, quote unquote, their responsibility. Right now, the way we think, it's not their responsibility. They're a corporation. They have to worry about the shareholders and their bottom line. Like, that's capitalism. That's what they got to do. I think capitalism just never factored in an addictive quality to money making, which is what social
yeah,
media has done. Or which is what the internet has done.
it's that monopoly thing, that vicious monopoly. Carlos comes in when no matter who you are.
But you know what, though? It's true, man, because I've also
Yeah.
heard this moment compared to like Tammany Hall way back when like there were monopolists and those guys were just hoarding everything. So I guess
Yeah.
this isn't unprecedented. I
No.
just think it's the internet that's like it's giving it oxygen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think what's unprecedented is because of the way technology and things work, like there's an unprecedented amount of power by very few people. And while other like in the past there may have been monopolies and stuff, you needed human labor. You needed people to have money to buy things. You needed all these things in society to kind of still work. And they don't care. They want to automate. They want to get AI to do our jobs. They don't give a shit. They
Right.
want to take all the money. And, if we end up living like Elon Musk has a town where the people work for him and live in his town and he's the owner of it. Like that is going back to it's like
Feudalism.
feudal sharecropping and like indentured servitude and things like that. And like there was I mean, I think there have been company cities before that have gotten like outlawed in places because you end up in a place where you can't live anywhere else. Like you get paid in company script. So
Right.
you can't even buy things anywhere. You can't leave if you want to. And it gives people no choice. So like this is where we're going back to. And they're very happy to have that happen. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you want to sleep in your office? No problem.
Let me get you a cot.
Yeah. I'll feed you. You just never have any choice and you only work for me. And if you want to leave, then you don't have anywhere to go. That's fine.
Like, I don't know what you're complaining about. I gave you your Elon Musk bucks.
Right.
I paid you in Musk bucks.
Yeah, I mean it's not too different from like a man that like controls all the money and all the like the car keys and things like that. And it's like people ask, oh, this man's so abusive, why didn't she leave? Like, where was she gonna go? What was she gonna go with? People put you in these situations that are highly abusive to trap you. And they do that not just like physically and not just monetarily and financially, they do it psychologically too.
Mhm.
They make it so that you don't believe that you can do this, or you're tied to them in so many ways. But yeah, we've gotten pretty far off topic from Sydney Sweeney, but
But Skip, that was a masterful return to the manosphere.
yeah, thanks. Carlos, I hear you have some hot tea to spill.
So yes, this is not hot tea at all, actually.
Okay. Cold,
but
cold milk.
but yeah, exactly. So in our little outro notes here, we've got a bunch of stuff, and we always default to joy because we always it's a wonderful thing to end on, and I do want to do that today as well.
Yeah.
But we have a bunch of stuff here that like we never get to, and I think we have a minute to do it. And one of them is to spread positive gossip because Skip, I don't know if you know anything about this about me, but I'm kind of a gossipy guy. Like I like gossip, and gossip is just inherently negative. And I catch myself doing it sometimes. And I'm like, why am I talking about this? And oftentimes my gossip is like with Jody, and that's it. Like we talk and talk and talk, which is arguably not even gossip because it's not going outside of our home, sort of thing. More venting than anything else, I guess. But I do like to know what's going on. I do like to know other people's business, and I blame my mother for that because she's like that, and I was raised under her tutelage. So anyway, this is not in any way exciting at all. But I was on a call and there was an injured man, and he was legit injured. It was like I felt like a real paramedic that day. And there's a bunch of fire people around, firemen. They're all men. And my partner was
Not fire people stomping around, leaving fire tracks through the woods.
I guess firefighter is probably the more fire people. Yeah, there's a fire people sighting. So, and my partner was or is she's not my regular partner, but she's like 22 years old, young. She's been a fire or a paramedic for a few years now. So I was very much leaning on her experience to sort of like guide me through this whole thing. And so she was, when she saw me doing something like, well, maybe we should do this, and like kind of correcting me this way and this way. And anyway, so this guy was like pretty fucked up on the ground, but he's listening to this whole exchange between all the first responders that were helping. And we got him in the truck, and it was just me and him back there, and we were saying something, and he was like, and he was largely blind. He couldn't see very well. That wasn't his injury. He had some other traumatic injuries. But anyway, he said, and I can't remember the context anymore, but he said like, oh well, that girl, she was the only female there, like helping out.
Yeah.
He's like, that girl, she's the good one. And I was like, yeah, she is a good paramedic, and that's my positive. That's my positive gossip. My partner is a great paramedic, so much so that this blindish man was listening to all the men talking and chimed in to say she's better than all of you guys.
That's hilarious. I love that you love gossip. I think that's funny. And I love that this guy was like in traumatic pain and he's like, these guys are dumb.
Yeah. He's like, why am I in the back of the ambulance with you? Where's that woman? She needs to be back here. Yeah, and he was in pain, but he took time to let me know that she was definitely the better first responder
That's very funny.
of all the people there.
Well,
So
I had no idea that you loved gossip.
I
That's
won't say
funny.
that I won't say that I love gossip. I just find myself doing it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gossiping right now. Like, stop talking.
All right.
I'm assuming I just sprung this on you. You don't have any positive gossip to spread, and that's not even your thing.
Oh. Yeah, I'd love to have positive gossip to spread, but like I think the very concept is brand new to me. So I'll have to
Right.
I'll have to cogitate on that
All right.
and think about it.
Well, what's bringing you joy this week, Zip, or today, or anything you want to say?
I just had something and it was not going to Mexican food, but that was good. I did enjoy that. I feel like it has something to do with a game or something. I can't remember. It's definitely not my memory. I'm gonna have to think about that for a minute. But what about you?
Joys. I have a joy. It's a simple joy, but I have started wasting water with AI. As you pointed out to me, I'll never forget it. And every time I inquire with ChatGPT, I think about it. But I've started uploading photos to ChatGPT and turning the exact photo into Muppets, and it is the funniest fucking thing that I've been doing. I'm obsessed with doing it. I can only do like 4 a day because that's the limit on ChatGPT unless you pay. And I've done so many of them that like I have a chat or a text thread with my sisters and my mother that like the last one they didn't even like. Normally they give me like the little heart or the haha sort of thing. They didn't even respond to that one. So they're I think they're over it. But it's just so funny because it takes the picture that you put and it just muppifies it.
Mhm.
I mean, you have to. It's not automatic. You have to put a prompt in for it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's very very pleasing and very satisfying, and it just so funny to look at.
So I know you like doing these AI images. I didn't know that they were available on ChatGPT because the last time I used it was a long time ago when it just did words. But yeah, you send me some of these sometimes, and you did send me one of us as Muppets,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was out of all the ChatGPT things you've done, it was the most accurate depiction of me. Because ChatGPT always makes me look like somebody else for some reason, I think. And the Muppet looked more like me than any of the photorealistic pictures.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I enjoyed that one as well. I'll probably post that one on Facebook or something so the world can see what we look like as Muppets. But that's my joy.
Yes. All right. Well, I guess I've got to come up with my joy now.
I thought maybe it would have come up when I was going on and on.
I can't honestly remember. I had something just a little while ago. I thought, you know what? That's my joy. That's my joy. Because I had at the beginning, I was talking about going to get Mexican food, and I really don't remember what it was. It was something that was genuinely. Oh, you know what it is? I did remember it. I remembered it right now. So I told you we got back from the US just a little while ago and we walked in, we're like, our apartment is very sparse and empty. And so I went to the home improvement store. We
Okay.
don't have a Home Depot or
Was
Lowe's
it
here or anything
Bauhaus
like
or?
that. Yeah, Bauhaus or an Obi. I think I went to Bauhaus and I got some stuff and I hung a bunch of pictures and
Oh,
things
nice.
around the house and it's real nice. my wife likes bird things, and we have multiple bird arts that now are up. So we have some things from trips and like some ceramic birds that I hung on the wall and some framed bird things and also other things that are not bird related. But yeah, it's kind of been my joy for the week, is just kind of like making this place that doesn't really feel like home feel more like home.
Well, good, man. That's important. It's really important.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. New podcasts every Monday. And if any part of this show has resonated with you, let us know at outsidethemanosphere@gmail.com, at Instagram or Facebook. Please like, rate, subscribe to the podcast, or recommend us to a friend. We hope you'll come back.